أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بفضلك بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم هل أتى على الإنسان حين من الدهر لم يكن شيئا مذكورا إنا خلقنا الإنسان من نطفة أمشاج نبتليه فجعلناه سميعا بصيرا إنا هديناه السبيل إما شاكرا وإما كفورا إنا أعتدنا للكافرين سلاسل وأغلالا وسعيرا إن الأبرار يشربون من كاس كان مزاجها كافورا عينا يشرب بها عباد الله يفجرونها تفجيرا يوفون بالنذر ويخافون يوما كان شره مستطيرا ويطعمون الطعام على حبه مسكينا ويتيما وأسيرا اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد إنما نطعمكم لوجه الله لا نريد منكم جزاء ولا شكورا إنا نخاف من ربنا يوما عبوسا قمطريرا فوقاهم الله شر ذلك اليوم ولقاهم نزرة وسرورا وجزاهم بما صبروا جنة وحريرا متكئين فيها على الأرائك لا يرون فيها شمسا ولا زمهريرا ودانية عليهم ظلالها وذللت قطوفها تذليلا ويطاف عليهم بآنية من فضة وأكواب كانت قوارير من فضة قدروها تقديرا ويسقون فيها كاسا كان مزاجها زنجبيلا عينا فيها تسمى سلسبيلا ويطوف عليهم ولدان مخلدون إذا رأيتهم حسبتهم لؤلؤا منثورا وإذا رأيت ثم رأيت نعيما وملكا كبيرا أعليهم ثياب سندس خضر واستبرق وهلوا أساور من فضة وسقاهم ربهم شرابا طهورا إن هذا كان لكم جزاء وكان سعيكم مشكورا إنا نحن نزلنا عليك القرآن تنزيلا فاصبر لحكم ربك ولا تطع منهم آثما أو كفورا واذكر اسم ربك بكرة وأصيلا ومن الليل فاسجد له وسبحه ليلا طويلا إن هؤلاء يحبون الآجلة ويذرون وراءهم يوما ثقيلا نحن خلقناهم وشددنا أسرهم وإذا شئنا بدلنا أمثالهم تبديلا وإذا شئنا بدلنا أمثالهم تبديلا إن هذه تذكرة فمن شاء اتخذ إلى ربه سبيلا وما تشاءون إلا أن يشاء الله إن الله كان عليما حكيما إن الله كان عليما حكيما يدخل من يشاء في رحمته والظالمين أعد لهم عذابا أليما صدق الله العلي العظيم صلوات اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعجل فرجهم. بر محمد و آل محمد صلوات اللهم صل على محمد و آل محمد وعجل فرجهم. It was just 2 days ago that the whole family of the Holy Prophet was killed in Karbala, and his family was taken captive. So the poet, he tries to express this in his words. And the poet says, in what environment was the family of the Prophet destroyed? I can neither describe it, nor could you bear to hear it. And he says, how was Ali's bustling home emptied? I can neither describe it, nor could you bear to hear it. Bar Muhammad wa Ali Muhammad salawat. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa Ali Muhammad. For the love of the Holy Prophet and his holy family, please recite another salawat. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa Ali Muhammad wa ajil farajah. For the reappearance of our awaited Savior, please recite the third salawat. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa Ali Muhammad. لٹی کن فضاؤں میں آل پیمبر لٹی کن فضاؤں میں آل پیمبر نہ میں کہہ سکوں گا نہ تم سن سکو گے ہوا کیسے خالی علی کا بھرا گھر، ہوا کیسے خالی علی کا بھرا گھر، نہ میں کہہ سکوں گا نہ تم سن سکو گے. They were 18 of Bani Hashim that were among the Shuhada of Karbala. So among the menfold, it was only Imam Zainul Abidin alayhi salam that survived the battle. Everybody in the family of Amir al-Mu'mineen attained Shahadat. لگی دل پہ برچھی جگر منہ کو آیا، لگی دل پہ برچھی جگر منہ کو آیا، صدا آئی مقتل سے بابا کہاں ہو، چلے کس کا لاشا اٹھانے کو سرور، چلے کس کا لاشا اٹھانے کو سرور، نہ میں کہہ سکوں گا نہ تم سن سکو گے، ہوا کیسے خالی علی کا بھرا گھر. What was the environment like? Was the blood-soaked desert. There were savage winds. There was this desolate wilderness. And inside this wilderness there was a cry of a mother. وہ خونخوار صحرا وہ وحشی ہوائیں، وہ خونخوار صحرا وہ وحشی ہوائیں، وہ سنسان جنگل وہ ماں کی صدائیں، کہاں سو گئے جا کے جھولے سے اصغر، کہاں سو گئے جا کے جھولے سے اصغر، نہ میں کہہ سکوں گا نہ تم سن سکو گے، ہوا کیسے خالی. And what did we see? Towards whom did Shimr advance with a dagger? And who was calling upon Ali from the slaughtering fields? بڑا شمر خنجر لیے کس کی جانب، بڑا شمر خنجر لیے کس کی جانب، پکارا تھا مقتل سے کس نے علی کو، نظر آیا سر کس کا نو کے سنا پر، نظر آیا سر کس کا نو کے سنا پر، نہ میں کہہ سکوں گا نہ تم سن سکو گے، ہوا کیسے خالی. How can I describe the state of Layla? And what can be said about the helplessness of Kulsum? How was Zainab's hijab taken away? کہوں لیلا کا میں حال کیسے، کہوں لیلا کا میں حال کیسے، بیاں کیا ہو کلثوم کی بے بسی کا، اتاری گئی کیسے زینب کی چادر، اتاری گئی کیسے زینب کی چادر، نہ میں کہہ سکوں گا نہ تم سن سکو گے، ہوا کیسے خالی۔ Who was it on whom dizziness was falling? Don't ask who kept fainting. And somebody's resting area caught on fire. نہ پوچھو نقاہت سی تاری تھی کس پر، نہ پوچھو نقاہت سی تاری تھی کس پر، نہ پوچھو کسے غش پہ غش آ رہے تھے، اب ایسے میں جلنے لگا کس کا بستر، اب ایسے میں جلنے لگا کس کا بستر، نہ میں کہہ سکوں گا نہ تم سن سکو گے، ہوا کیسے خالی۔ ستایا تھا غربت میں کس کو شقی نے، who had that wretch bullied in a foreign land? How can I say whose cheeks were wounded? Who was the cruel barbarian slapping? ستایا تھا غربت میں کس کو شقی نے، کہوں کیسے رخسار تھے کس کے زخمی، تماچے لگاتا تھا کس کو ستم گر، تماچے لگاتا تھا کس کو ستم گر، نہ میں کہہ سکوں گا نہ تم سن سکو گے، ہوا کیسے خالی۔ That stealing of hijabs, those conditions of the prison, that frightful desert, those unburied corpses, that Sham-e-Ghariban scene that makes the heart moan. وہ بے چادری وہ اسیری کا عالم، وہ بے چادری وہ اسیری کا عالم، وہ پرحال صحرا وہ بے دفن لاشے، وہ پرحال صحرا وہ بے دفن لاشے، وہ شام غریباں کا دل سوز منظر، وہ شام غریباں کا دل سوز منظر، نہ میں کہہ سکوں گا نہ تم سن سکو گے، ہوا کیسے خالی۔ وقارا کس دل سے اب میں بتاؤں، وقارا کس دل سے اب میں بتاؤں، جو گزری ہے زینب کے قلب حزین پر، وہ بازار و دربار کوفے کا منظر، وہ بازار و دربار کوفے کا منظر نہ میں کہہ سکوں گا نہ تم سن سکو گے. ہوا کیسے خالی علی کا بھرا گھر نہ میں کہہ سکوں گا نہ تم سن سکو گے. لٹی کن فضاؤں میں آل پیمبر نہ میں کہہ سکوں گا نہ تم سن سکو گے. صلوات اللہم صلی علی محمد وآل محمد وعجل فرجہم. لکھا ہے جب شہید ہوئے سبط مصطفیٰ اس وقت حشر رن میں نمودار ہو گیا. کانپی زمین بدل گیا رنگ آسماں کا. جبریل خاک اڑا کے پکارے بسد بکا. پانی دیا نہ شمرے لعین حسین کو. پیاسا کیا شہید شہ مشرقین کو. پیاسا کیا شہید شہ مشرقین کو. بولا عمر سواروں سے اے لشکر یزید اس کی نہیں خوشی کے ہوئے شاہدی شہید. باقی ابھی ہے اور نیا ظلم ایک شدید. فارغ ہوں اس سے جب تو ہمیں ہوئے اور عید. خوف خدا کرو نا رسول عرب کرو. لاشیں بھی ان شہیدوں کے پامال اب کرو. لاشیں بھی ان شہیدوں کے پامال اب کرو. قوم بنی سقیفہ نے دیکھا جو ہی یہ حال بڑھ کر کیا یہ سب نے بن سعد سے سوال. فرزند فاطمہ کو تو کرتا ہے پائمال. اس امر میں ہمیں بھی تردد ہوا کمال. ہم میں سے ایک زوجہ شاہ انام ہے فرزند جس کا اکبر عالی مقام ہے. فرزند جس کا اکبر عالی مقام ہے. جس وقت گھوڑے دوڑیں گے میدان میں بے ادب پامال اس کی لاش ہوئی تو ہوا غضب. کہنے لگا شقی تم اٹھا لاؤ اس کو اب. یہ حکم خاص ان کے عمر سے پھر آئے سب. دیکھا جو وہاں پہنچ کے تنے پاش پاش کو آخر اٹھا کے لے گئے اکبر کی لاش کو. آخر اٹھا کے لے گئے اکبر کی لاش کو. اس واقعے کے بعد پھر آئے بنی اسد. بولے عمر سے ظلم کی تیرے کوئی ہے حد. فرزند فاطمہ سے اگر ہے تجھے حسد پامال کر تو شوق سے ہم کو نہیں ہے قد. تنہا نہیں ہے لاشا حسین غریب کی. لاشیں پڑی ہوئی ہیں زہیر و حبیب کی. لاشیں پڑی ہوئی ہیں زہیر و حبیب کی. جس دم سنا رسالہ حر نے یہ حکم عام بڑھ کر کیا یہ سب نے بن سعد سے کلام. لیکن ہے ان میں ایک وہ جو حر نیک نام سردار تھا ہمارا ہے اس کا بڑا مقام. گر لاش اس کی آئے عمر اس دم کچل گئی, یہ جان لے کے ہم سے بھی تلوار چل گئی, یہ جان لے کے ہم سے بھی تلوار چل گئی. پامال ان کی لاش جو میدان میں ہو ذرا, لاکھوں کا خون بہائیں قیامت کریں بپا. یہ سن کے ان سے پھر عمر سعد نے کہا, میدان سے اپنی قوم کو تم بھی کرو جدا. یہ حکم سن کے دشت کو وہ سب چلے گئے, لاشیں کو ہر کے گنج شہیداں سے لے گئے, لاشیں کو ہر کے گنج شہیداں سے لے گئے. شمر لئی نے دیکھا جو اس وقت ماجرا, غصے سے پیچ و تاب میں آیا وہ بے حیا, قبضے پہ ہاتھ رکھ کے بن سعد سے کہا, کچھ خوف ہے کسی کا تجھے بانی جفا. رن میں فخت نہ شے کا تنے پاش پاش ہے, عباس اور بھائیوں کے ان کی لاش ہے, عباس اور بھائیوں کے ان کی لاش ہے. تو خوب جانتا ہے وہ ہے بھانجے میرے, مقتل میں سب کے ساتھ وہ پامال گر ہوئے. دکھلا دوں اس کا لطف اسی وقت میں تجھے, یہ سن کے حکم عام دیا ابن سعد نے. جس کا ہو عزیز ہماری سپاہ سے, لے جائے لاش اٹھا کے وہ اب قتل گاہ سے, لے جائے لاش اٹھا کے وہ اب قتل گاہ سے. یہ حکم جب کہ شمر ستمگار نے سنا, میدان سے لاش بھانجوں کی اپنے لے گیا. بعد اس کے رن میں جا کے ہر ایک بانی جفا, لاشا اٹھا کے لے گیا اپنے عزیز کا, لاشا اٹھا کے لے گیا اپنے عزیز کا. حامی ہوا نہ کوئی شہ مشرقین کا, جلتی زمیں پر رہ گیا لاشا حسین کا, جلتی زمیں پر رہ گیا لاشا حسین کا. صلوات.
Please recite a Surah Fatiha for the Shuhada of Islam and for your marhubeen. Hasbunallahu wa ni'mal wakeel, ni'mal mawla wa ni'mal nasir. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir la'een ar-rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. Wa salatu wa salam ala ashrafil anbiya wal mursaleen. Sayyidina wa Maulana Abul Qasim Muhammad وعلى آله الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين سيما بقية الله الأعظم روحي وأرواح العالمين له الفداء رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي صلوات على محمد وعلى محمد. Thank you. Some defects that we have, flaws, shortcomings, some of them are very detrimental and dangerous for our faith. Not all flaws are dangerous for our faith, but some of them are. And if these shortcomings are not diagnosed, are not identified, then they can lead to serious problems between us and Allah. This is a natural consequence of such shortcomings, these flaws. Now, if we have these flaws and if we have these shortcomings, meaning that these defects in us, then it's better that we get to know that we have the defect. If you had a sickness or a cancer, would it be better for you to know you have one, or is it better that you don't know? Is ignorance better or is knowledge better? I mean, really, right? I mean, it's better for you to know. For example, let's say, that you have, in the morning you left your house and you didn't comb your hair. You didn't comb your hair. Now, if someone tells you your hair is a mess, is that helpful for you or is it harmful for you? It's good, right? Very good. So now, really, this is what happens. If you have a defect, it's good to know that you have a defect. In fact, when Allah likes someone, when He loves someone, then the sign of Allah loving you is that He makes you see your defects. Basarahu uyuban. Allah will make you see it. If Allah doesn't like you, He will say, live with that defect all your life. In fact, it's going to grow and grow until it destroys you. That's what happens. So one of the things about defects, us having defects, is that if Allah likes us, He will expose it. He will expose that we have this defect, whatever it is. Whatever that defect is, whatever that flaw is, everyone has different types of it, and we all do that. But, and the other thing about defects you should know is that really your tawbah is not accepted until you know your defect. If you want to do tawbah for anything, let's say, astaghfirullah rabbi wa atubu ilayh, then the only way this tawbah is accepted by Allah is if you know your defect. If you don't know your defect, your tawbah is not accepted. Right? That's what the hadith says. وَمَا يَنْجُو ذَنْبُ إِلَّا مَنْ أَقَرَّ بِهِ. Your guna and the tawbah for that guna is not accepted unless you know what guna is doing. For example, if I tell you sorry and you say, okay, why? For what? No, I don't know. I'm just saying sorry. At least know what you're saying sorry for. At least know what your fault is. If you don't know your fault, Then I'm saying, okay, what are you asking for then? What is this for? Because it shows that you don't know what you're asking for. So you don't get anything because you don't know what you're asking for. So knowing this defect, finding out our defects is really important for us. Knowing what defects we have. Because if we get to know our defects, then there's 3 things we will do. At least 3 things. Number 1, we will do tawbah. Right? If I know that I am at this fault and this is guna or this is haram, a lot of people don't know many guna that they're doing out of ignorance. And when, for example, they're told this is guna, you're like, oh, I didn't know it was guna. Then in that case, at least you can do tawbah, right? You can go to Allah and say, Allah, I didn't know that. Please, I won't do it again. In many things, for example, interest, right? People take interest without knowing that this is guna, this is haram, but they do it. Or many other things that happens in life, that we are living a life here and so it happens. So the first thing that we can do if we know our sins or guna or shortcoming is that we can do tawbah. Second thing that we can do if we know our defects is that we can do islah. We can change it. Okay, I'm doing this way, I should change it now. For example, a lot of people, I don't know about now a lot of things have changed in America. When I was a kid, people didn't know many things. It was such that the president of the Islamic Center, in Masoom, he used to receive calls, and this was when I was a kid, right? And so what happened is that he would answer and they'd say, okay, what date of Ramadan is this? He's like, Ramadan's already started? And this is the president of the center, right? So what happened is that this is the situation at that time. Hopefully a lot of things have changed now, mashallah. A lot of knowledge is there, awareness is there. Things have changed right now. So alhamdulillah, we got to know a lot of wrong things we used to do, and now we are doing it right. So at least we can do islah and change things. The third thing, if you know that you are doing some guna or sin or you have a shortcoming or defect, the third thing is that, at least knowing that will make you realize that you're not perfect. It will help to make you humble. It'll help to make you humble. SubhanAllah, I have a defect. Good. Really. So I don't have to walk on my cloud anymore. I can walk on earth now, saying that I am a human being. That's fine. It happens. So at least these are things to do. If someone comes and tells you, so now that you know how good it is to know a defect, what will you do if someone tells you a defect about yourself? Would you be happy with him? Like for example, someone said, hey, you know what? You have a big ego. So, will you be happy with that, or will you say, none of your business, What would you say? Really, Imam Sadiq alayhi salam, he said that أحب إخواني من أهدى إلي خطيئتي, or my shortcoming. He said that the best brother I have is the one who gives me the gift of my defect. Tells me my defect to me. It's a gift he's giving me. And he's my best brother. Imagine that. So if someone in the masjid tells you, for example, you're doing something wrong, or you're saying something wrong, or you're behaving in the wrong way, this is a gift they're giving you. So when someone gives you a gift, what do? Thank you. Right? You say, thank you. Right? You don't get upset. You don't get angry. You say, thank you for saying this. I didn't know this. Or even if I did know it, thank you for reminding me. It shows that you are a friend. Now, I laid out this preliminary discourse so that now I can tell your defect. And that you don't get upset at me and start firing at me. So I'm going to tell you a defect that you all have, right? And this is, again, as I said, it's my gift to you. Today is the last majlis, and I want to give this gift to you so that, inshallah, you can thank me for this. Salawat ala Muhammad wa alayhi. So here you go, my friends. The defect I want to talk about today, right, and it's there, is the defect that is prevalent, and we all have to deal with it, and it goes unnoticed, really. People don't know that they have it. And if left unnoticed, that defect can destroy our iman, our faith, can change it really fast. In fact, it's very harmful. So really, we need to know this defect, and we need to see what do we do in front of this defect to get rid of it. So the defect and the shortcoming I want to talk about is called hasad. Now, a lot of you have heard what hasad means. I don't know if you know the definition or not, what it means and this and that. So what is hasad? Envy, very good. Envy, but that's just a translation of it. Jealousy, that's a translation of it. What does it mean? So let me just define for you what it means before I go forward. What is hasad? My friends, in life, you're going to come across people who are better than you are, more endowed, gifted, talented, in any field, within your field. For example, you might be a mechanic, and then you come across someone who is a better mechanic than you are. Okay? You are a doctor, and you're going to come across someone who's a better doctor. It happens. Really, you might be an IT person, and no matter how hard you try, you're never as good as that Indian guy with oily hair. It happens, right? You come across someone who's like, wow, man, this guy knows. It always happens like that. So you come across people who are talented than you are, better than you are, all the time. Now, whenever you come across such people, there are two types of emotions that are possible that can come about within you. The first emotion is called ghibta in Arabic. Ghibta means that whenever you come across someone better, then you want to be like him. Wow, he's good. I want to be like him. See that feeling? That's the first possible feeling that can come. I want to be like him. He is great. Then you start working harder, makes you inspired to do something, better. Good. This is something that's encouraged in Islam. That you should have ghibta whenever you come across someone who's better, more knowledgeable. Who's more knowledgeable than you are. So you were like, wow, subhanallah, I want to be like him. How does he do it? Let me ask him. That's a great thing. Now, the second type of emotion that could come out is that you want to bring him down to your level. Man, this guy is good. I need to do something to make him look bad. So this emotion where you want to bring down someone who is better than you are, more gifted than you are, this emotion is called hasad. This is the technical definition of hasad. It is 100% natural to have emotions like that. Why? Because you're always going to come across someone who's better in life. You're always going to come across someone who is better in life. So it's natural for you to have hasad. That's why having hasad is not haram. because it's a natural emotion. Expressing it is haram. Doing something about it is haram. Having hasad is fine because you'll always have someone that is better than you are, and you'll have that feeling, wow, I recite no haba, but he's really good. You know? I recite majlis and then you see someone else, oh my God, he's really good. It could happen. So this could happen, but expressing it is wrong. So anyway, that is hasad. Now, when it comes to hasad, there are three types of hasad. There are three types of hasad, right? Number one is the hasad that seniors have, superiors have to their inferiors. For example, a hasad that a father might have for his son, because now he sees the son is taller than he is, and he has to look up to him. He's like envious of him now. Right? So it could happen. Or hasad that, for example, a teacher will have of a student who has, gone past him and become better. I used to teach him, and now he is like, wow, he can teach me now. Right? Happens. So there could be hasad there, because now you see that me being a superior or someone who is above him in status, I see someone who is my subordinate, and he is better than I am. Okay, so that's the first type. The second type of hasad is amongst equals. People who are equal, like brothers, companions, like you all. Amongst each other, you are, brothers in faith, and hence you are of equal status. So of equal status, now you see that hasad exists amongst them, that you see someone, he's better than others, someone who's more regarded, more respected, whatever it is, you will see that there could be hasad there, and there is hasad amongst that. This is hasad amongst equals. Then the last type of hasad is the hasad that juniors have for their seniors, or someone who's inferior has for their superiors. Like, for example, a student having hasad for his teacher, or a child having hasad for his parent. Could be there. So these three types of hasads are there. Now, the first type, the hasad that, for example, superiors have for their inferiors, this is the easiest hasad to deal with. If you are envious of your son, you will see that envy exists, but it's easy to deal with it. At the end, he's my son. I want him to succeed. I want him to be better than me. If I'm a teacher, I see my student, I want him to be better than me. The more he succeeds, it'll be more respect for me, right? So this is very easy to deal with in life. Now, harder than this is the hasad that we have amongst equals. Yes, amongst equal people, equal status. You see, this hasad is hard to deal with. And you see that, For example, someone in the masjid, they're having a fundraiser, and someone gives a hefty donation, right? It's a big old checkout, And everyone's like, Allahumma salli, all excited and this and that. He's giving a big donation, and someone says, we have to check if it's haram money, certainly. Brother, the guy is doing a good deed. Why do you have to mention this now? Why do you have to mention this right now? You see, this comes out of hasad. There you can start seeing it, right, amongst people. Anything like that, small things like that. You can give many examples. But you understand, and this type of hasad is hard to deal with. There are ways to deal with it. Inshallah, you can work on that. The third type of hasad, the hasad that inferior have towards superior, like a son towards his father, the student towards his teacher. Now, this is the hasad I want to speak about. Why? Because this is the most difficult hasad to deal with. And the reason it's difficult is because it's so ugly. It's so ugly that you don't even want to let others know about it. For example, if someone finds out that you're envious of your father, why are you envious of your father for? I mean, he's your father, right? He loves you. He wants the best for you. Why are you envious of him? Why do you have jealousy for him, right? This is very difficult because no one wants to admit they have it. No one wants to admit we have it. Subhanallah. You know, yes, for example, if a student, he has hasad for his teacher and says, I hate my teacher. He's always right about everything, you know. Yes, I mean, this is difficult for him to, he doesn't even want to accept he has this. He doesn't even want to accept he has this. This level of hasad. You know, why? Because if he accepts it, everyone will laugh at him. That's why whenever we have hasad for superiors, we tend to hide it. Deep inside that, we don't want anyone to know about it. But you know what? It's existing inside. And as long as it exists inside, it will grow into a cancer and destroy your faith. Destroy everything that you have. So, if you understood this type of hasad that I'm talking about, all of this introduction was for this. So let me start the topic now. Right, what is that? That this hasad that I want to speak about, that inferiors have to superiors, that is so dangerous that if you have it lying deep inside you, this will lead to your destruction and the destruction of your iman. So the hasad I'm talking about is the hasad, bear with me, is the hasad that Shias have for their imam, for Ahlul Bayt. Yes. This is the hasad that I want to talk about. Envy and hasad that Shias feel for Ahlul Bayt. Wow, you know. Which Shia would admit he has hasad? Does anyone say, if I tell you, hey, you have hasad? No. What are you talking about? Right? No one would admit it, right? Because if you admit it, it's so ugly. But is it deep inside? Now, obviously, I'm not saying this. You know, who am I to say this, you know? Now let me read the ayat for you from the Quran. Send the salawats. Allah says in the Quran, Am yahsuduna an-nasa ala ma atahum Allahu min fadlih. He says, are the people having hasad against those that we have given fazilats to? That we have made them great? Do the people have hasad to them? Do they envy them? We gave them the fadilat. We made them better. We made them more gifted, more talented, better than you. So you have hasad towards them? Allah is saying that in the Quran. Imam Ja'far as-Sadiq alayhi salam, he says that the hasad Allah is speaking about in this ayat is the hasad that our Shia have for us. It's Imam Sadiq who's saying it. And this is difficult for me, for anyone. Like now you heard this, you know, I'm sure you heard it for the first time. Oh my God. What are you talking about? Shias have hasad for Ahlul Bayt? Let's see. And you have heard it also before it happens. You see, like for example, you're talking about, let's say, Imam Ali. Alhamdulillah, we, lovers of Ahlul Bayt, we emphasize Imam Ali. We want to say about him. Why Allah wanted us to say about him. So that's why we talk about Imam Ali every time. Because talking about Imam Ali beautifies our majalis. They give zina to our majalis. Talking about Imam Ali. That's why we talk about Imam Ali all the time. So when we say Ali, Ali, Ali all the time, you will hear someone say, you know what? Rasulullah is more important. Then you're like, okay, when we are talking about Imam Ali, why did you have to bring up this point? The fact that you are bringing up this point is showing that this is an outcome of some hasad that you have. In any words, you see, for example, you know, like for example, we cry for Imam Hussein, right? We cry, and you might have heard this from others, you know. tell me, is Imam Hussein Shaheed? Yes. Is he in Jannat? Yes, he is in Jannat. So why are you crying? Well, that's my problem. I'm crying. What's it to you? I mean, if I want to cry, I show my happiness in crying. What is your problem that you have with it? What is your problem that you are disliking my crying? What is your problem? This shows that there's hasad. Now I know there's hasad there. You have a hasad for the love that we have for Ahlul Bayt. That's it. Otherwise, if I see someone crying or laughing on the street, what's my problem with them? So I'm crying. Let me cry. That's my issue. I want to cry. Why are you all upset that I should not cry for him? You see, that's the thing. This is hasad. So all of these are symptoms of hasad. These are symptoms of hasad that people have. Even amongst our own people, you'll see that, yes, it's good that we do Az-Zahra, but we need to emphasize more on prayer. We'll emphasize more on prayer, but why do you have to say it in Muharram? Why do you have to say it when we are doing Hussein and Hussein? Why do you have to say it at this time? What is your problem? My problem is that I have hasad. That's why. And this is, again, you'll see that in there. You will see what's going on in there. This is a symptom of hasad. So now, my friends, this is something dangerous. If someone has this, then it will lie deep inside, and eventually shaitan is going to use that to destroy his faith. To destroy his faith. That's it. He will make it happen that your faith will be destroyed just because you have it inside there. I'll tell you a story. My friends, really, I don't want to put you on the spot, but I'll give an example, and then I'll ask a question, and you be honest with yourself. Really, we need to see ourselves like that. I'll give an example from history. Send the salawats. When the head of Zubair, now do you know who Zubair is? Okay, Zubair, if you know it or not, whatever you know, I don't know what you know about him. He was a champion. I mean, he was not a chump. He was someone champion. He used to be with Imam Ali, fighting side by side with Imam Ali in every place you see him. He was not someone who would leave. In fact, when everyone ran away in Uhud, it's Zubair who stayed with Imam Ali and defended the Prophet. So he was not someone who's like, you can take easily. He was a champion fighter. He was courageous. He was brave. But obviously at the end, he made the wrong choice, and, his head was cut off somewhere, and it was brought before Imam Ali. In Jamal, in the Battle of Jamal, his head was brought before Imam. Imam Ali was visibly saddened to see Zubair ending like this. Because Zubair and him went through a lot. And to see someone that you fought with and that you're with, and he stood by you all the time. To see him end up like this is like really sad. And Imam Ali was sad. And Imam Ali told others. He said, do you know what made Zubair end up like this? What made Zubair end up like this? So the people around said, we don't know. What happened? Imam Ali said that once, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he sent me and Zubair on a mission. There was this lady, a spy, who was carrying a message to Makkah from Medina. And Rasulullah said, go stop her and get the information from her. So we both went. Me and Zubair went there. And we caught up to that caravan and to her at a certain stop. And at that stop, I told Zubair, go inside and you do the work. Bring the information from her. Do what you have to do, bring it from her. So he goes inside there, interrogates her, everything. Scares her, whatever it is, right? And she denies everything. She says, I don't know what you're talking about, whatever it is, right? So Zubair, after a while, comes out to Imam Ali and says that she doesn't have it. She doesn't have it. I did whatever I can to make sure I looked everywhere, this and that. She doesn't have the information. Imam Ali just looked at him like that, right? Like, what are you talking about? If Rasulullah says she has it, then she has it. You think that Rasulullah will say something otherwise? He would make a mistake, come on. And it is at that point that Zubair, in his heart of heart, recognized that Imam Ali is better than me. Why didn't I think of that? Meaning, his faith, his ability is much higher than me. Zubair realized that. And right at that point, there was this hasad that came into his heart. A point of hasad came to his heart. And you know what? It just grew and grew and grew until now he dies as an enemy of Ahlul Bayt. Yes, well, this is Zubair's story. But my question is this, my friends. If I had asked Zubair, if someone asked Zubair, that Zubair, you have hasad against Ali and Fatima and the family of Ahlul Bayt, you think Zubair will accept it? No, right? He won't accept it. And then if I tell you, okay, Zubair, what is your proof that you don't have hasad? What is your proof that you can say that I don't have hasad, I love them, I don't have hasad? Okay, what is your proof? So at that point, Zubair, what would he say? And before I say what Zubair will say, let me ask you now. Let me bring you into the fray and ask you that right now, let's say someone tells you you have hasad against Ahlul Bayt. What proof can you offer? That you can say, well, I do all of these things. For example, I will answer for you. I cry for Imam Hussain. I do majlis for Imam Hussain. I spend for Imam Hussain. I do matam for Imam Hussain. I do all of these things. So all of these things you're offering as proof, right? That you did this for Imam Hussain, and hence, that is the reason why you don't have hasad. Very good. Let's take all of these reasons that you have. And if there's anything else, you also think about that in your life. What have you done for Ahlul Bayt that proves that you do not have hasad for Ahlul Bayt? What have you done? You make your own proof for that. Write it down in a list. See that. Now let me ask Zubair that. Zubair, it is said that you have hasad for the family of Fatima. He will say, no, I don't. Okay, what is your proof? Now, Zubair is going to give a proof, which I'm going to give to you. He didn't say, and I'm just making it for him, right? But you compare the proof that he has to yours and see for yourself. Is it compelling or not? You know what Zubair will say? What are you talking about? Me have hasad for Ahlul Bayt? I was the only one in Medina who stood in front of the house of Fatima and would not let them burn the house until they beat me up unconscious. I was there protecting Fatima's house. This is Zubair. He was the only one in Medina who stood before these people, challenged them until they beat Zubair up and they walked over him to the house of Fatima. And Imam Ali saying he died of hasad. My friends, this is a dangerous disease. Dangerous disease. Do not be proud of what you have done so far. It could be taken away. Really be careful. So, There is, why? And now you know that it exists, it's there, and, the examples for it, this has happened. How do we save ourselves and protect our love that we have for Ahlul Bayt, to make sure that it is real and that this love is true? How do we protect ourselves? Subhanallah. Now, I'll say it, my friends. For this, Allah has given a prescription. He has given a prescription. This is what I want to tell you based on this, so you understand the wisdom behind it. He gave you a prescription and says, take this prescription and take it often. Take it as much as you want. Take it so much that you're always reminding yourself. What is that prescription that saves us from this hasad? Allah gave that, and that prescription is called salawats. Why did Allah wants us to give salawat? Because of this, to get rid of the chance of having hasad towards Ahlul Bayt. When you say salawat, what are you saying? You're saying, Allah, salawat is on them, not me. They are better, I'm not good. They deserve it, I don't deserve it. Allah, send on them, not me. This is what you're saying in salawat. Reminding yourself that they are better, I am not. They are better and they are more deserving, and I am not. This is what you say in salawat. And Allah says, say this often, because that is the protection against this disease. Say it, my friends. This is why you're saying it. Say it often. Why? Because when you say it, remind yourself, Ahlul Bayt, you are better. You are deserving. I'm not. My salvation is through you. I am a nobody. You are everybody. You're everybody. It is your light that reflects on me. It's your light. I don't have any light. I'm like the moon, his dead body. The sun shines on it, so it looks good. Otherwise, it's like nothing. I am like that. You're the one who reflects on me. Your light is shining on me. Your love is what's shining on me. I don't have time to explain that in detail, but it's true. Brothers, sisters, if I ask you the question, do you love Ahlul Bayt? I know the answer, but the answer is incorrect. You'll say yes, but really the answer is incorrect. You know what? We don't love Ahlul Bayt. We just reflect the love Ahlul Bayt have for us. They love us. They know how to love, and they love. We don't know how to love. We just are absorbing their love. That is the shining inside of us. Who are we to love them? Me. I'm nobody to love anyone. Being a lover requires character. They have character to love. We are just reflecting their love, and that's why we are so happy that someone like them loves me. This is, my friends, this could be expanded so much, but just that much you need to understand, my friends. And this salawat is what makes us humble all the time. If you know why you're saying it. Now you know what you're saying it, know it, and try to think about it all the time. That how much I'm dependent on them. How much that I'm nothing and they're everything. Really, that's what it is. That's it, my friends. And you know what? Allah made Ahlul Bayt such that it's hard to have hasad for them. How can someone have envy for the house of Fatima that went through what they went through? Really. If you look at the house of Fatima, you'll be like, how can I have hasad for you when you went through this? You went through what you went through. Subhanallah. Friends, when Imam Sajjad was taken from the ground of Karbala He was sick. And in sickness, you have been sick before. Even the smallest discomfort is painful. Even the smallest discomfort. Someone moves you, it's hurting. It's like, and the sickness that Imam Sajjad had was such that he couldn't even stand up. He couldn't even stand up in that sickness. And when they picked him up, it was so rough. Imam Sajjad, his legs didn't have the strength in them yet to stand up, so they were just like laying on the ground and being dragged on the ground. And when they brought him, this is how they dealt with him. First of all, they put a chain on him that is used for groups of people, a long chain. They tied him up in different ways around his body, so the weight of the chain, and then they tied him such that his right hand is going back like this on his neck, and the left hand is like this on his neck. So his hands were tied like this as he was walking. And when he was and every time he moved, and at times they used to put him on the camel, and he used to be like that, so the camel move left and right, so the chain will start cutting to his neck. Because the chain was hard from the sun, and it was cutting through his neck. In fact, that's why it said that when he came back to Karbala, it took years for that wound to heal. When Muhammad the Hanafiya came to hug him and touched him in the neck, he shrieked in pain. He says, "What happened, my nephew? Why are you?" He said, "Uncle, it's this wound on my neck." Imam Sajjad was like that. What can I say, my friends? This is what happened. As he was being moved forward, they saw that, they wanted to put a weight on him. So they put this neck brace that's made of wood. They put it on him, but the neck brace would fall off. He wasn't able to stand up straight. The neck brace would fall off. So they, in order to make it sturdy, they put the neck, and they got the idea that let's put nails into his wounds. So they drove nails into his shoulders so that it can hold up the weight. Imam Sajjad was walking like that. They made him walk. Just to have fun, they made him walk. Imam Sajjad would walk for a few minutes, 4 minutes as much as he could, then he would fall down. He would fall down. He had no energy to go forward. He would fall down. And when he would fall down, they'd come back and pick him up again. And again, he would walk for a few places and he would fall down. And then they would make worse situations that they put thorns in his way. They would put thorns in his way, so he steps on the thorns. He started stepping on the thorns, and he would wince in pain as he would walk forward. And Imam Sajjad was doing that. He was going like that and falling down. But it so happened, with all their fun that they were having with him, the caravan was being delayed. When the caravan was being delayed, so Shimr came back and said, "What is it? Why are you all stopping here?" He says, "This person falls down and he doesn't get up, so we're waiting for him." He said, "Whip him." So they started whipping him. Every time he falls down, they started to whip him, then he gets up. He winces in pain and gets up, and again. But a time came when he was so hurt that his energy ran out and he could not get up anymore. He just fell to the ground, and that's it. He couldn't do anything. No matter how much they whipped, he wouldn't move because he has no power to move. So Shimr came again. He came back again and said, "What is it this time?" He said, "This person is on the ground. This person is on the ground and he doesn't get up. And we are whipping him." He says, "Whip him again, whip him some more." And Shimr stood there to see that. And as they whipped him, he looked around and he saw a little girl there that every time that Imam Sajjad was whipped, her whole body would start shaking. Her whole body would start to shake. And he would look at that girl and said, "Who is this girl?" They said that this is his sister. Then Shimr said, "Okay, now I know how to make him move." I know how to make him move. If he drops down again, let me know. And when the next time Imam Sajjad dropped down, Shumr came there. He says, give me that whip. And he took that whip and went to Sakina and said, if you don't get up, I will use this whip on her. When Imam Sajjad heard that, he got up. He got up. And then every time he fall out, they'd come to Sakina to whip her again. Imam Sajjad would get up. And Imam Sajjad just kept on moving like that, even though he has no energy, just because he didn't want Sakina to be whipped. He didn't want Sakina to get hurt. That's why he was moving forward. And so when they came to the first stop and he was put there, you know how they used to put Imam Sajjad? They would put a spear in the ground and they would tie his hands behind the spear so he cannot move from there. He cannot move from there. So Imam Sajjad was sitting there with his feet outward. He would sit there. And then when the ladies, they were huddled up together in one place, the soldiers went back. The soldiers went back to rest and to get their sleep. And so when everyone went to sleep, after that, Sakina would take that opportunity to crawl between the ladies. She would crawl between them until she comes close to Imam Sajjad. She would crawl to Imam Sajjad, look at him in the eyes as Imam Sajjad looks at her, his little sister who's there. He looks at her with pain, and Bibi Sakina would take up his feet, and one by one she would take out the thorns and she would cry over his feet and wash his feet. Imam Sajjad would cry for Sakina, that Sakina, I should be the one comforting you. You're coming to comfort me. And then once Bibi Sakina started crying loudly for Imam Sajjad, and someone heard this and came, they saw Sakina is trying to help Imam Sajjad. They took a whip and started to hit her. When he raised the whip for Sakina, Imam Sajjad called her, no, don't beat my sister. If you want to beat anyone, beat me up. سيعلم الذين ظلموا أي منقلب ينقلبون يا محمود بحق محمد يا علاء بحق علي يا فاطر السماوات بحق فاطمة يا محسن بحق حسن يا قديم الإحسان بحق حسين. Allah, give us the tawfiq to be on the right path. Allah, give us the wisdom to understand your guidance. Allah, accept the ibadat from all of us. These days that we have come here, and in these majalis that have been held, and all of us who have come here to be with Bibi Fatima, please accept this ibadat from us. Oh Allah, we ask you that all the children who are here, protect them from misguidance and keep them firm on the path of Ahlul Bayt. Oh Allah, we ask you that the treacherous road that we live in here, help us to go through this road so that we can be your servants and that we can help our Imam in his reappearance. Oh Allah, we ask you to hasten the reappearance of our Imam. Oh Allah, we ask you to make us such that we can be his helpers. Wa akhiru da'wana anil hamdulillahi rabbil alameen. Matam Hussain.
हुसैन का ऐसा तबाह हो गया कुनबा हुसैन का ऐसा तबाह हो गया कुनबा हुसैन का कोई ना था उठाता जो लाशा हुसैन का क्यों अपनी फतह पर ना हो नाजा सिपाहे शाम क्यों अपनी फतह पर ना हो नाजा सिपाहे शाम मारा है 6 महीने का बच्चा हुसैन का मारा है 6 महीने का बच्चा हुसैन का कोई न था उठाता जो लाशा हुसैन। अरमान दिल में और जिगर में सीना का फल, अरमान दिल में और जिगर में सीना का फल, मिट्टी पलोटा है कलेजा हुसैन का, मिट्टी पलोटा है कलेजा हुसैन का, कोई न था उठाता जो लाशा। वो प्यास और वो खुश्क गला और वो कुंद तेग, वो प्यास और वो खुश्क गला और वो कुंद तेग, वो सख्त हाथ और वो तड़पना हुसैन का, वो सख्त हाथ और वो तड़पना हुसैन का, कोई न था उठाता जो लाशा हुसैन। खैमे में बादशाह के अम्बोहे आम है, खैमे में बादशाह के अम्बोहे आम है, और लुट रहा है सब ज़रो ज़ेवर हुसैन का, और लुट रहा है सब ज़रो ज़ेवर हुसैन का, कोई न था उठाता जो लाशा। सब अपने रिश्तेदारों की मैयत को ले गए, सब अपने रिश्तेदारों की मैयत को ले गए, बेवार सा था रह गया लाशा हुसैन का, बेवार सा था रह गया लाशा हुसैन का, कोई न था उठाता जो लाशा हुसैन। क्या सख्त वाक़या है कि जो आज तक गयूर, क्या सख्त वाक़या है कि जो आज तक गयूर, ले ले के नाम रोती है दुनिया हुसैन का, ले ले के नाम रोती है दुनिया हुसैन का, कोई न था उठाता जो लाशा हुसैन का, ऐसा तबाह हो गया कुनबा हुसैन का। या हुसैन
इजमान सलावात बुलंद ख़त्म करें। सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि मोहम्मद व आले मोहम्मद वअजल फरजहम। गोया क़ियामत आयद در قلب عالمین، غوغا شود آتش غوغای کربلا، زهرا بروی نیلی خلت میزند، از ماجرای ماتم عظمای کربلا، از بارش مصیبت و سیلاب حادثه، دریای خون شود همه صحرای کربلا. یا رسول الله، 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 الله. فاطمه امروز، فاطمه امروز از غم بابا میزنند بر سر، میکنند غوغا، ناله ها دارد، ناله ها دارد، شور و ویلا دم بدم گوید یا رسول الله، 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 یا رسول الله. لالا میروی بابا میروی بابا بعد تو جبرائیل او نمیگردد بر زمین نازل ناورد دیگر آیت تنزیل مقطع گردد ترس و بر بیمم یا رسول الله 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 لالا دوریت بر من بس که سنگین است قلب سوزانم زار و غمگین است گریم بابا گریه بر دین است می شود مظلوم حجت کبرا یا رسول الله 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 میروی بابا اشک و از پیشم از پس مرگت من در اندیشم دشمنان اسکین میزنن نیشم میکنن وارد ظلم و کین بر ما یا رسول الله 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 دین و قرآن را میکنن ویران کینه های دل میکنن آریان میشون مظلوم اطرت و قرآن میفتد قرآن دور و از معنی یا رسول الله یا رسول الله یا رسول الله رسول الله فاطمه امروز از غم بابا میزنن بر سر میکنن غوغا ناله ها دارد شور و ویلا دم بدم گوید یا رسول الله یا رسول الله یا رسول الله یا رسول الله
कहती थी रो के ख्वाहर मेरा सलाम ले लो ऐ फातिमा के दिलबर मेरा सलाम ले लो नूरे निगाहे हैदर मेरा सलाम ले लो लखते दिले पैगंबर मेरा सलाम ले लो ऐ बेकफन बरादर मेरा सलाम ले लो जाती हूँ कैद होकर मेरा सलाम ले लो मेरा सलाम ले लो आए थे साथ जिसके वो कारवां नहीं है शाने नबी थी जिसमें वो कारवां नहीं है हम लुट चुके हैं रन में बाकी मकान नहीं है खाली है गोद माँ की वो बेजुबान नहीं है ऐ बेकफन बरादर मेरा सलाम ले लो جاتی ہوں قید ہو کر میرا سلام لے لو میرا سلام لے لو ایک آگ سی لگی ہے دل پر نہیں ہے قابو سر پر ردا نہیں ہے بکھرے ہوئے ہے گیسو بھائی تمہارے غم میں بڑھتے ہوئے ہیں آنسو دیکھو بندھے ہوئے ہیں میرے رسن میں بازو اے بے کفن برادر میرا سلام لے لو جاتی ہوں قید ہو کر میرا سلام لے لو میرا سلام لے لو میں زخم اپنے دل کے بھائی دکھاؤں کیوں کر پردیس میں تمہاری تربت بناؤں کیوں کر جو سو رہے ہیں رن میں ان کو جگاؤں کیوں کر پڑھتے ہیں تازیانے آنسو بہاؤں کیوں کر اے بے کفن برادر میرا سلام لے لو جاتی ہوں قید ہو کر میرا سلام لے لو میرا سلام لے لو تم کربلا میں بھائی گھر کو لٹا کے سوئے اسلام کا سفینہ رن میں بچا کے سوئے سجدے میں زیر خنجر سر کو کٹا کے سوئے زورے عمل سے ساری دنیا جگا کے سوئے اے بے کفن برادر میرا سلام لے لو جاتی ہوں قید ہو کر میرا سلام لے لو میرا سلام لے لو افسانۂ شہادت سب کو سنا رہی ہوں ظلم یزیدیت کے پردے اٹھا رہی ہوں دین نبی کی شمع ہر سو جلا رہی ہوں بھائی کہاں ملو گے مقتل سے جا رہی ہوں اے بے کفن برادر سلام لے لو جاتی ہوں قید ہو کر میرا سلام لے لو میرا سلام لے لو عابد بیمار تھا وہ عابد بیمار تھا چلنے سے جو لاچار تھا چلنے سے جو لاچار تھا اور شام کا بازار تھا اور شام کا بازار تھا اور مصطفیٰ کی بیٹیاں مولا حق امام یا حسن یا حسین مولا حق امام یا حسن یا حسین یا حسین یا حسین یا حسین یا حسین یا حسین.
السلام علیکم یا ابا عبداللہ السلام علیکم ابن رسول اللہ السلام علیکم ابن امیر المؤمنین وابن سید الوسیین السلام علیکم ابن فاطمة الزہرا سیدۃ نساء العالمین السلام علیکم سائر الشہداء کربلا خصوصاً سیدی و مولا یا ابا الفضل العباس یا ابن امیر المؤمنین السلام علیکم ورحمۃ اللہ وبرکاتہ. السلام علیکم یا غریب الغرباء السلام علیکم یا معین الضعفاء والفقراء السلام عليك يا سلطان يا أبا الحسن يا علي ابن موسى أيها الرضا السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. السلام عليك يا صاحب العصر والزمان. السلام عليك يا شريك القرآن. السلام عليك يا إمام الإنس والجان. عجل الله تعالى فرجك وسهل الله تعالى مخرجك وزهورك. السلام عليك وعلى آبائك الطيبين الطاهرين. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. اللهم صل على
نعرہ حیدری.